was a war of attrition, and in the end it was Daniel Rousell. The towel coming in there from Bobby Murdoch, and Paul Murdoch's hopes of becoming Australian Cruiserweight champion are over, and Daniel Rousell is now wearing the belt. He's pretty excited. I don't think I've ever seen Daniel so emotional. There's plenty of reason why he spent his entire life trying to climb to the top of the tree to win an Australian title at the age of 27. His boxing dreams have come true. Still to come, well, a lot to look forward to. Next up, it will be Julien Holland, now fighting out of Victoria against Josh Clenshaw. Holland, current Australian welterweight champion. Josh Clenshaw, a former Australian junior middleweight champion who has also fought for the middleweight title as well. And this should be a very interesting matchup indeed. As you will see, Josh Clenshaw will enjoy a 5-centimetre edge in reach, and is also going to be some 6 centimetres taller. Both men come in around 151 pounds, 68.9 kilos, 151 pounds for Holland, and 68.6 for Josh Clenshaw. He's only 23, Josh Clenshaw. He's packed a lot into a short career so far, Barry, and generally when he's in action, there's no shortage of entertainment.
Plenty of action. That's good. Well, you know, Julian and Josh Clenshaw should mix for a very, very entertaining fight, I think. Julian has shown, you know, that he is world class. I mean, he's Australian welterweight champion. He's fought overseas. He did lose to Willie Wise, but he's right up there. This is a step up for Josh Clenshaw, I guess, but he's already been an Australian middleweight champion, and you know, big opportunity for him, especially on national TV on Foxtel.
Sure, our viewers in the Sydney area will get behind Josh Clenshaw. We trust you have enjoyed big-time boxing, not only tonight, but right through the year. This is our final program for 2000, but we'll be back bigger and better. In 2001, follow the exploits of the likes of Shannon Taylor and Lovemore Nadu, not to mention Anthony Mundine, and our new Australian Cruiserweight champion, Daniel Rousell, will be a regular fixture. And here comes Julien Holland, the fighting farrier. Lost only twice in 25 fights. And incidentally, we've just heard from Ian McLeod. Well, Ian McLeod beat Julien Holland on a split points decision back in March this year. Julien Holland really fighting out of his weight division, went up to junior middle. So you have to take that on board. But the fact that Ian McLeod was competitive and was able to beat Julien Holland, well, that makes me wonder about Anthony Mundine's chances of beating Ian McLeod.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, John, I've seen Anthony Mundine in the gym, and I saw his last fight. And look, I'm really impressed with him. I think he's an exceptional fighter, exceptional boxer, got incredible hand speed. Ian McLeod's a real tough competitor and, you know, classy boxer with it. But I tell you, it's going to take a good man to beat Anthony Mundine.
Well, let's see what Julien Holland and Josh Clenshaw can come up with. It's a junior middleweight clash scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, a junior middleweight clash scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds. In the red corner, former Australian middleweight champ, possessor of a big right-hand KO punch, 12 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 8 KOs, Josh Clenshaw. And his opponent in the blue corner, holder of the Australian welterweight crown, one of Australia's busiest fighters, ladies and gentlemen, from 25 fights. He has had 22 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw with 12 KOs. From the Fighters Factory in Blackburn, the fighting barrier, Julien Holland! Referee Jimmy Shannon, judges Rob McCullum, Gus Mercurio, and Dave Winkle.
Keep it a good, clean fight, fellas. You're both professionals. Keep it clean, and good luck to both of you. Go to your corner and come out fighting.
Well, Julien Holland looks ready for business with the evil eye there for Josh Clenshaw. You have to like Clenshaw, though. He's seen all the big names. He's been in against Mark Bajero, Nader Hamden, Gavin Topp, Jason Herrera from New Zealand, the Kiwi champ most recently back in July. It's scheduled for 10 at junior middleweight level. We're underway here. Josh Clenshaw in the black trunks with white piping, and Julien Holland in the black trunks with gold piping. Junior middleweight clash, 11 stone in the old money, or 69.85 is the kilo limit here. Julien Holland finds it difficult to get opponents at the welterweight division, so he's moved up to junior middle, and I think that this is Josh Clenshaw's best weight rather than middleweight where he won the Australian title. So it looks a very even matchup. If Julien Holland is right at the peak of his abilities, then he will be the favourite.
Yeah, Josh Clenshaw opened very confidently, you know, walked straight up and started firing with both hands. Julien composed, having a bit of a look at this stage of the first round.
Roy Alexander putting the polish on Josh Clenshaw. And as you can see, both men have good tight defences with their hands up high.
I actually first came across Julien Holland when he was about 16, and I just not long retired from boxing and did a fair bit of sparring with him. Some nice punches there from Julien Holland, and I was impressed with him at 16, and actually had a move around with him only about a year or so back, and realised how much I'd aged. he is a very strong welterweight.
Holland coming in at 68.9 kilos for this fight. Waterweight limit 66.67. But he is world class. His record suggests that. Julian Holland tried his luck overseas, losing in 8 rounds to Willie Wise.
Nice right hand counter there from Julian, and again, good right hand.
The news out of Sydney today is that Shannon Taylor is going to be leaving the Morty organisation and heading toward the Jeff Fennick camp. If that happens, one wonders if that might allow the battle for Julian Holland and Shannon Taylor to get it on. Taylor has been mentioned in dispatches as a likely opponent for Shannon Mosley, who at the moment has some problems, but Josh Clenshaw has his even bigger problems as Holland unloads on him here in round 1.
Yeah, no, he's looking good, Julian Holland, at this stage of the first round, picking Clenshaw's shots well, slipping him well and countering well at this stage of the first round.
He might just have an edge in class here, Julian Holland. Josh Clenshaw looking a little tentative here now. He's tasted the power of Julian Holland. Big right hand from Julian Holland, backs up Josh Clenshaw right at the end of round number 1.
Yeah, you'd have to say that was a good round for Julian Holland. He landed about 4 or 5 very strong right hands to take that round, and you know, some nice left hands as well. But Josh Clenshaw certainly took it up to him and made for an interesting opener.
Keep looking for the right hand over the top, you stay on the figure.
Alright?
Big side on, big more side on, right? Just look for the rips hit you. Big side on a bit more, right? Go in, move them level. Put a short or right hand in there. Put a short or right hand, left foot, finger hook up. Okay? Keep moving him more, bit more kick speed.
Seconds out.
Both men have had 4 fights so far this year. Julian Holland has lost a couple and won a couple, and likewise Clenshaw with a similar record. As round number 2 gets underway here, Julian Holland in the black and gold trunks, Josh Clenshaw in the black and white trunks. Barry Michael scores 10-9 for Julian Holland through the first round. I saw it likewise. Just appears to have this under control at the moment. He's going to let Josh Clenshaw try and come at him and pick him off in a counter-punching role. With a left hand.
Yeah, that was a good countering left hook there from Josh Clenshaw. Julian tried that right hand again and got caught undone a little bit there.
Saw Josh Clenshaw knock out Justice Canizia in a single round back in November last year. So we know he has power, and Julian Holland getting a little wild there.
Yeah.
Clenshaw just picking him off. Want to get overconfident here, Julian Holland. He's Clenshaw. Does have good credentials. He's already won an Australian title, but the overhand right from Julian Holland backed him up.
Yeah, that was a ripper, John. Tried it again.
This time Clenshaw was able to slip the punch and now feeds out the jab to Julian Holland. He's trying to take advantage of that edge in reach. It's 5 centimetres in favour of Josh Clenshaw. He's 2 inches in the old language. It is significant.
Oh, nice left hook from Josh Clenshaw.
Putting these combinations together well here, Clenshaw, in round number 2.
Yeah, better round for him.
When he retreats, he tends to hold his head up a little high, Clenshaw. And that's where Julien Holland's been searching for him.
Good jab.
He's a very tough customer. Clenshaw comes forward. Now Holland unloads again with a right hand. Inside the last 55 seconds, round number 2, Julien Holland coming on strong here, trying to back Josh Clenshaw up.
Break, break, break. Step back, don't punch.
He's only the welterweight Julien Holland, but he does look the stronger of the two. Nice jab there from Julien Holland, and again.
It says a lot for Josh Clenshaw that he was able to win the Australian middleweight crown, because junior middle's certainly his go.
Yeah.
And even Julien Holland, a welterweight, makes him look small. Here he's again with his head up high when he retreats, and just got tagged again by Julien Holland. Ooh, left hand on that occasion coming from Josh Clenshaw. There's definitely more stick on the punches from Julien Holland. The never say die attitude, though, of Josh Clenshaw. He is one tough customer. He's going to need to be here against Julien Holland.
Whoa. Yep.
Josh Clenshaw trying to take advantage there of a sly one after the bell as well.
I'd say it was another round for Julien Holland, but he edged it. Clenshaw had a lot more success that round. I thought he did a lot better.
Now welcome back to tomorrow.
Don't try with him yet. Just keep pecking when you're going with the jab, it's better.
Thank you, good referee.
What am I doing?
And wearing the skin is something that didn't look as good on the animal.
They're telling Julien Holland to punch a little bit more to the body, but to continue the success he's having with that overhand right.
Scheduled for 10 at junior middleweight level, Julien Holland in the black and gold trunks, Josh Clenshaw in the black and white trunks. We have Julien Holland edging the first 2 rounds. 2018, Barry Michael. Myself score at the moment. Josh Clenshaw again trying to take advantage of that 5-centimetre edge in reach here. The pattern of the fight has been Julien Holland allowing Clenshaw to take the fight up early, and then the longer the round progresses, the busier Julien Holland gets. Now Josh Clenshaw manhandles Julien Holland across the ring. He spent a lot of time sparring with Shannon Taylor, and that was a painted Shannon Taylor move to wrestle the opponent across. Now Shannon's viewing big-time boxing, and we wish him all the best in his endeavours.
Yes.
Likewise, Lovemore Nadu, who we know is at home watching big-time boxing live here on Fox Sports.
Especially Shannon Taylor, he's overdue for a world title fight. It's got to happen in the year 2001 for him.
Clenshaw right on the belt line of Julien Holland there, doesn't want to go any further south of the border. Holland picking him off with the right hand. Nice body shot from Clenshaw, though.
Good body shot back from Holland too there.
Julien Holland's a very stylish boxer, pretty to the eye, moves well.
Oh,
Here he is
lovely.
backing up Clenshaw, doubling up with the jab, and Clenshaw in some trouble here. Round number 3, he's taken some punishment.
Very classy work from Julien Holland. Good defensive work too from Holland.
There he is, slipping the punch and then feeding the jab back at Josh Clenshaw. Well, one is a current Australian champion.
Oh, he's got him. He's got Clenshaw very badly hurt.
Big right hand from Julien Holland, and now Clenshaw wants to trade with him. Final 60 seconds, round number 3. It's getting very willing here. Josh Clenshaw backed up and with his problems.
I'll tell you what, he was just stopped in his track with that right hand. He was badly stunned, and he recovered. But just a tribute to his fitness, Clenshaw, he recovered so quickly there. He was badly shaken. He came back in a matter of seconds. Very impressive conditioning. But, you know, sensational punching from Julien Holland.
A little evening two-step there from Julien Holland and Josh Clenshaw. Body shot from Clenshaw, digging to the rib cage of Julien Holland inside the last 20 seconds here. Round number 3, it's been eventful. Holland staggering Clenshaw with the right hand, but toward the end of the round here, Clenshaw has regained his composure and is working pretty hard. And Julien Holland again, looking to unload on Josh Clenshaw at the end of round number 3.
Yeah, the way I see it, John, it's another round of Julien. He did some really, probably the best round of the fight for him there as far as damage was concerned. Clenshaw was hurt, but he recovered exceptionally well.
You're going to hit him 4 and 5 punches. All your spins are ready, going to jump on him again. I want you to pick the pace up now. Pace up. Too strong for him, Josh. Start bulldogging a bit more. When you land them body shots, back him up straight away.
You're fit, Josh, you're fit. You can do it.
When you land them body shots, I want you to back him up. You're not backing him up enough. Okay? You want to win the fight?
Renato Cornet and Roy Alexander with the instructions there for Josh Clenshaw. I'm not sure he was convinced that he has an edge in power. Here he is fighting back after he was tagged by a right hand. He came back swinging.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Short right hand from Julien Holland. And we are underway round number 4, scheduled for 10 at junior middleweight level. And Josh Clenshaw in the black and white trunks again at the start of the round is serving it up here to Julien Holland in the black and gold. Julien Holland appears to have this one under control. 30-27. Barry Michael scores the fight. I have it a similar 30-27. Holland growing in confidence now. Yeah. Clenshaw to up the tempo. I think Julien Holland's prepared to find another gear as well.
I think he is, John. I think he's looking for those big shots again. That right hand. He's had a lot of success with it so far.
Clenshaw's unloaded 3 overhand rights, and there's another now on Julien Holland, but he hasn't flinched.
No, he does take a good shot, Julien.
Break! Break! Step back, step back, step back, don't come. Bop!
Left hand of Julien Holland does tend to slide a little low on occasion, and that's why Josh Clenshaw is having success with the overhand right so far. Clenshaw just loading up. And as this round progresses again, Julien Holland will expect him to come on a little stronger in the middle stages now. Most of the running in this round has been made by Josh Clenshaw, but Julien Holland won't be far away from mounting his own campaign. Not throwing his punches in bunches so far here in round number 4.
Clenshaw doing a little bit more work this round. Julien hasn't really landed anything outstanding this round so far.
And the overhand right has been a significant winner for Clenshaw here in this 4th round. A little over 60 seconds remaining in this stanza, and Clenshaw's winning the round so far. Holland has been able to finish over the top of Josh Clenshaw toward the end of each of the 3 previous rounds. Let's see if that pattern continues here.
He really hasn't done a lot this round, Julien, but good punches from Josh Clenshaw.
Neither man is a little bit low from Clenshaw right on the belt line.
That was too low. Step back, step back, step back. Box!
I was about to say neither man is a stranger to 10 or 12 round fights. In fact, Clenshaw, his last 4 fights have been 10 rounds or more.
Better round by far from Josh Clenshaw.
Final 10 seconds, round number 4 here. Josh Clenshaw, arguably his best round so far.
Stop.
The judges might find it hard to score it in favour of Julien Holland. I'm going to score it 10-9 in favour of Josh Clenshaw.
Yeah, I agree with you there, John. Just work rate was a little bit too much there for Julien. Just didn't do much that round. Julien Holland, he just took a bit of a breather, I think.
And still to come, our feature event for the Australian Light Heavyweight Championship belt. Adrian Belland and Paul Briggs are going to be up next to put the finishing touches on our final program of the year. And so I'm pleased to tell you that Paul Briggs on the left of screen there, he's just become a father.
Wow.
Some 1 hour ago, his lovely wife Natasha had a baby boy. And
8 pounds,
8 pounds
10 ounces.
and it was suggested to us that Paul Briggs was finding it difficult to concentrate on this fight tonight because his wife was determined that he should be there for the birth. So let's hope that excitement doesn't affect his performance, because he certainly is going to start the favourite against Adrian Bellin.
Yeah, you can understand his missus being a bit upset that he wasn't there for the birth of their first child. I'm sure he is too, so I'm sure he's going to be in a hurry to get out of here tonight.
Well, this is round number 5 for the junior middleweights, and Julien Holland in the black and gold trunks and Josh Clenshaw in the black and white, putting on a good display here at the moment. We had Holland winning the first 3 rounds, but Josh Clenshaw came back in round number 4 to take it on Barry Michael's scorecard. And already we're seeing Julien Holland get a little busier here at the start of round number 5.
Yeah, Julian, after that last round, must realise that he's got to keep the, just can't rest. He's got to keep working hard. He's got a top opponent in front of him. He's been in control, but he just can't take chances.
Now, if he takes his foot off the accelerator, Josh Clenshaw will make him pay. Wasn't the Australian middleweight champion for no reason.
He's a very fit, determined fighter, John. Very, well tutored. Holds his hands up high. Good combination puncher, and superbly conditioned.
The better of Holland on that occasion as well. Now he feeds in the jab, again taking advantage of that 5-centimetre edge in reach. Julien Holland stagnated a little in the last round and a bit.
He has.
His demeanour and body language suggests that he has it under control. But Josh Clenshaw back into wrestling mode.
Mate, don't okay? Keep it clean.
Referee Jim Slatter with the instructions there. Right hand partially blocked by Julien Holland, but it's Clenshaw who's coming forward with more authority. And Julien Holland just getting a little wild as well here, round number 5. And the right hand from Clenshaw, partially deflected.
Yeah, Julian does block a lot of the shots that's coming his way from Clenshaw, but Clenshaw is throwing a lot. His work rate's just that much better at the moment.
Julien Holland just having trouble at the moment keeping Josh Clenshaw at bay with that overhand right.
Yeah, he's not having the success he had earlier with it, that's for sure. That was his main power punch. He did land a few good clean left hooks. Good little left rip inside there.
Now Holland gets a little busier and grabbed the attention of Clenshaw with a left hook. He's right there in front of Julien Holland, though, Clenshaw, and again feeding out that jab.
Yeah, it's always there, snapping it out continually.
Inside the last 20 seconds here, approaching the halfway stage of this 10-rounder.
Pretty even round, this one.
Break! Sit back. Sit back. Stop.
Well, there's no doubt it would be an upset if Josh Clenshaw was to get the decision here, but have been winning the last 2 rounds.
Lovely right hand on the belt from Julien Holland. I think I'll call that even, folks. Josh Clenshaw probably did a little bit more work. Actually, no, I'm going to give it to Clenshaw. He edged that round, I think.
Hey, they see me throwing 1 and 2 punches. It's got to be 4 or 5 punches.
You're doing good, Josh. You just got to keep the pressure on him.
More pressure, more pressure, more pressure. All right? Start turning around. Hey, you all right? Yeah. Does he hurt you at all? Let's pick the pace up, eh?
Pick it up,
Wide
mate.
to go. Give him everything you got.
Chief trainer Roy Alexander's a tough taskmaster.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Wants more pressure on Julien Holland as we get underway here. Round number 6, the second half of this junior middleweight stoush between the Australian welterweight champion, Julien Holland, in the black and gold. Josh Clenshaw, former Australian middleweight champion. And at the moment, it's 48-47 for Julien Holland, according to Barry Michael at ringside. I see it likewise. And Julien Holland needs to pick up the tempo here. The last 2 rounds belong to Josh Clenshaw, and it was through his ability to put pressure on Julien Holland.
That was a lovely right hand from Julien Holland, but he never batted an eyelid with that one, John.
And Clenshaw throwing his punches in bunches now, digs to the rib cage as well. And he has Julien Holland on the back pedal here. Well, Bill and Craig Morty have put together a fantastic program here. Paul Murdoch and Daniel Rouse on a tremendous scrap prior to this for the Australian Cruiserweight title, and Julian Holland against Josh Clenshaw. Well, it's worthy of main event billing on most nights.
Undoubtedly. Better shots here from Julian Holland. He's really opening up this round with both hands. He needs to. He's let the last 2 rounds slip away. Needs to keep that pressure on. Oh, good right hand from Clenshaw.
He's never too far away, Josh Clenshaw. He'll stand there and trade if that's what you want.
Break! Stop!
I think this has been a tougher night at the office for Julian Holland than he was anticipating.
I think maybe you're right. It's going to be a tough one right down the wire, I think. He's a real credit to himself, Josh Clenshaw. He's in excellent condition. Got a full kit of punches.
Very likeable young man as well. He's only 23. As I mentioned, he's packed a lot of experience into a short boxing career. This is fight number 20 for him. And Julian Holland now trying to unload with the left hand. Josh Clenshaw with a straight right.
Tell you what, Clenshaw's tough. He just shook his head at that. That was a ripper of a right hand. And again, Holland looking good here in this round, in round 6.
Right. Sit back, sit back.
Halfway through the fight. Julian Holland walking up, taking the fight up to Clenshaw.
Right hand from Clenshaw, and partially deflected by Julian Holland. Bigger punches have been landed by Julian Holland. Again, he's backing up. Clenshaw in some trouble. Julian Holland unloading here on Josh Clenshaw. It's a war. Holland now bleeding from the nose himself. And Josh Clenshaw is one of the toughest customers you will ever see.
He's really tough. That was flush on that right hand.
Break! Break! Step back, step punch.
He was hurt, but he recovers very, very quickly, as was evidenced earlier on in the fight. Big round for Julian Holland, though.
Break! Step back.
Big round. Close to a 10-8 round, that one, I reckon, John.
Well, Josh Clenshaw, very tough indeed. Might have had enough. Roy Alexander speaking to him in the corner at the moment. I think we've seen enough. And Roy Alexander is going to call a halt to this. Josh Clenshaw appears to have a problem with his right hand. We're going to stop the fight here. Referee Jim Slatter is in the red corner as well. They're looking at the right hand. And they're going to unglove Josh Clenshaw, and Julian Holland will get a result here. At the end of round number 6, Julian Holland is going to be awarded the fight. Josh Clenshaw unable to continue because of an injured right hand, and Julian Holland breathes a sigh of relief. It was hard work for Julian Holland, but he's outlasted this tough customer from New South Wales, Josh Clenshaw, in a very entertaining junior middleweight clash.
Was it ever? A very big final round there for Julian Holland. I'll tell you what, Josh Clenshaw, put up a great fight. But Julian Holland came home strong there in the 6th round. Unfortunately, Clenshaw's had to pull out with an injured hand. It was a very interesting fight up to that stage.
Well, he's a very tough customer, Josh Clenshaw. And Julian Holland, well, he'll be better for that exercise as well. That would have tuned him up. There you see that he's very delicate with the right hand of Josh Clenshaw. Can hardly make a fist out of it at the moment. And you know he'd be hurting because he wouldn't be stopping unless he was in big trouble.
Yeah, it would have to be broken, I would think, for him to be stopping like that, because he was still well in the fight. His previous 2 rounds were very good, but Julian really did unload this round.
And Julian Holland, well, when he was able to open up on Josh Clenshaw, we can see very accurate punching here, and that is why he is rated world-class, Julian Holland. But let's get the official announcement. And here is Mr. Terry Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the 6th round, the referee has been advised that Josh Clenshaw's right hand is broken. Therefore, the fight has been awarded to the fighting barrier, Julien Holland.
Well, Julian Holland certainly a worthy winner. He is the Australian welterweight champion at the moment, campaigning as a junior middleweight here tonight. against Josh Clenshaw, who has in fact fought for the Australian junior middleweight title in the past. Junior middleweight title is vacant at the moment. Julien Holland would be a worthy champion. Here's the welterweight king, and here he is with Terry Hansen.
Well, Julian, a terrific fight. Something had to break out there. He just wasn't going to give up on you, was he?
No, thanks to Josh Clenshaw, that was a very hard fight. I knew he'd be coming down here to fight. Big puncher, we knew that. I got a hard head, so something had to go.
Did you start to get worried as the fight went on? His last 4 fights have gone beyond the 10 rounds, so you knew he wasn't going to be packing up early, didn't you?
Yeah, so I knew I had to be fit. I've only just come down here from Queensland, and every fight I have down here is going to be better. Just getting used to the surroundings and everything. But I love Melbourne, love the Melbourne people. I'd like to thank a few sponsors. First of all, Graham from Signature Spars, thanks mate. Simon Marshall down there. Glenn Boss, who's up in Sydney. Double AF Scaffolding. Susie Ashley Massage. Everyone for helping me. Windy up the Gold Coast, thanks mate. And everyone else that's helped me, thank you.
And mate, the future, we see the little guy there, there's a big future for him, but for yourself, there's Shannon Taylor on the horizon.
Yeah, definitely that fight's going to come one day. He's looking overseas, as I said before. I've got a bit of training down here to do, but yeah, one day it might come on. I'd like to I'd give Josh a rematch. Maybe we fight for the light middleweight Australian title. We'll see how we go. I'd also like to thank the guys that give me a start down here in Melbourne, Fast Form, and also all the CFMEU boys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. And we look forward to seeing any of those fights when they come. The fighting terrier, ladies and gentlemen.
Julien Holland. Well, maybe he will move up from welterweight and tackle the junior middleweight Australian rankings, because the title is vacant at the moment. Nader Handon has held it in the past. Now, Ian McLeod in there, as you see, 23 fights, 15 wins. This is the man that Anthony Mundine is going to tackle, and he is taking a big step up in class, with all due respect to Heath Stanton and the others who he has tackled. Holland in at number 3 and Clenshaw in at number 4. As I say, it was really worthy of an Australian title fight. We've already seen one Australian title fight tonight, and we'll have another coming your way. But also, make sure you make